Alrighty. Today we are starting a whole new unit. This time it is on triangles. Now, we're starting pretty straightforward. We're just looking at the angle sums of the inside angles and outside angles of triangles. And this time around we're starting with two different activities to really reinforce these ideas. The first I'm going to do with you on paper. The second is one that I want you to do online during these notes. So, you should find another sheet of paper, and you're going to follow the steps on that paper. Use a ruler to draw a triangle, and then cut out that triangle. Go ahead and pause, and you should have a triangle like mine when you come back. Now that I have my triangle, I'm going to label angles A, B, and C. And once you've done that, I want you to go ahead and tear those angles off your triangle. You're going to tear off the corners of your triangle. So, as you'll see here, I'm going to tear off my C, my B, and my A. And you're going to see something really cool. I'm going to follow step 5, and in the box to my right, I'm going to arrange the pieces so that the vertices meet at a single point. So I want all three of these corners to line up. I'm going to put one here, one there, and then the next one there. Cool, right? Let me just tape them down, and let's draw conclusions. What do you notice about the new angle we just got? It's 180 degrees. Our observations is that the interior angles of a triangle add up to 180 degrees. Now, there's another activity that will reinforce these ideas. On my Schoology page, you can go to Unit 4, Notes 1, and you'll find this same link. You can go to that page and experiment by moving points around on a triangle. I want you to use that website to create 3 equations, and then write those equations on lines 1, 2, and 3. Go ahead and pause and do that, and then we'll move on when you come back. Okay, so we've made a conclusion. The 3 interior angles of a triangle add up to 180. 180 comes up a lot in geometry. Pretty much everything involving angles comes back to 180 in some way or another. So, let's fill in our rule. Any triangles with angles A, B, and C, the measure of angle A, B, and C all add up to 180. We can use that to figure out the measurement of missing angles. So, for question A, I want to find the measurement of angle 1. Well, I know that all 3 of these add up to 180, so if I take 180 and subtract out 62, subtract out 90, I'll get my missing angle. If I do all this work, I'll find out that measure of angle 1 equals 58. So I'm taking 180, subtracting away the other 2 angles. On this next one, I know that if I have arcs in my angles, that 2 angles are congruent. So this angle is 30, and this angle is 30. Well, from there I'm going to do the same rules. 2 angles add up. All 3 angles add up to 180. So I do 180 minus 30 minus 30. Or I'm going to work all this out and show that angle 1 equals 120. 120 degrees. Make sure you show that degree symbol there. All right, so I'm going to flip to the back. And from here on, I want you to pause and see if you can answer each question on your own before continuing the video to watch my explanation. So pause real quick and see if you can solve question C. All right, let's do it. This line right here is a bisector. It cuts the triangle in half. And I know that because my right angle tells me so. It would only be a bisector if it made a right angle here. So because this is a bisector, I know that if this angle is 30 degrees, that this angle must also be 30 degrees. The measure of angle 1 is 30. For angle 2, I just want to do the same rules I did before. I know that this right angle is 90, and I've also got the 30. So to find out the measure of my missing angle, I'm going to do 180 minus 90 minus 30, and that's going to be 60 degrees. Okay, pause again. I want to see if you can complete D. Let's do it. So, the first thing I want to note is that angles 1 and 2 are vertical angles. If you don't remember, vertical angles mean that they're going to be the same. So, whatever angle 1 is, angle 2 is going to be. Angle 1 is going to be easier for me to solve, though. So, to figure out angle 1, I'm going to do the exact same process I did before. I say 180 minus 66 minus 58. And that's going to work out to be 56. Okay? Once I'm there, I know that if angle 1 is 56, then angle 2 also has to be 56. Okay? And to get angle 3, I'm going to do 56, or 180, minus 56, minus 50. Okay? And when I work this out, I'll find that the measure of angle 3 is going to be 74. Awesome. Let's keep on rolling. Pause and see if you can complete question E. Okay, so I need to figure out angles 1 and 2. This is a right angle here, so I know that angle 1 plus angle 2 has to be 90. But angle 2 is going to be easier for me to figure out. This is 90, and I've got a 30-degree angle right here. I do 180 minus 90 minus 30. And that whole thing is going to be 60. So the measure of angle 2 equals 60. Now, once I know 60, I also know what 1 is, right? Because that's going to be 90 minus 60. This is a right angle, 90 degrees, minus 60. Will give me the measure of angle 1, which is 30 degrees. We're using the same rule in a variety of different ways. What it comes down to is that the sum of all three angles comes back to that 180 degrees. Okay, now for question F. In F, the angle I want isn't on the inside, it's on the outside. But to get to that outside angle, I have to do the inside first. So, let's find out the inside. I need to do 180 minus 50 minus 65. And I believe that's going to be 65. That's going to be 65 degrees right there. And then I've got to figure out what angle 1 is. These two angles form a linear pair. So if I know 65, I do 180 minus 65, and that will give me 115. The measure of angle 1 is 115. Okay, awesome. We can use what we just did to draw on some new conclusions. So, first of all, we just learned a new theorem, the exterior angle theorem. The exterior angle of a triangle is equal to the sum of its opposite angles. And what that really means is, if we look at this picture here, if I want to know what the measure of angle 4 is, all I have to do is add up 1 and 2 here. The measure of angle 4 equals the sum of angle 1 and 2. The sum of the opposite angles, the two angles on the opposite side of the exterior angle, equals that angle. So 1 plus 2 equals 4. Also, the exterior angle makes a linear pair with the interior angle. So 3 and 4 here are a linear pair. Let's use that to do some more practice questions. I'll do the first one, then I want you to pause for the rest. Starting with G, this is the same question as before. If we add up 65 and 50, I get 115. And I know that because this plus that equals that, the measure of angle 1 is going to be 115. And once you know it, that's the same number we got in our last question. Okay, pause and see if you can do this one. Question H. All right, so the first thing I got to do is figure out angle 1 and angle 2. Well, this is a rhombus. So it's pretty easy to see that angle 1 and angle 2 are going to be the same as their adjacent angles. So it's going to be 60 degrees. That's going to be 60 degrees. Using the same theorem, the exterior angle theorem, we know that we can do 60 plus 60 to get the measure of angle 3, which is going to be 120. So the measure of angle 3 is 120 degrees. All right, now we're throwing variables in there. Pause and see if you can complete it. Okay, so solving this one, I'm already given my exterior angle, but I know that this angle plus that angle equals 145. So I'm going to do 2x plus 95 equals 145. I subtract 95 from both sides. So I have 2x equals 50. I'm going to solve for x, subtract x from both sides. Or, sorry, I divide 2 from both sides. And I find that x equals 25. I've defined the measure of angle ABC, so I'm going to plug 25 back into this equation. I find that 2 times 25 is 50. So this angle here is 50 degrees. All right, lastly, J. Go ahead and pause and see if you can solve it. All right, this one isn't too bad. We know that the sum of these two angles adds up to 58. So x plus x equals 58. And then this just turns into 2x equals 58. So to find x, we just divide both sides by 2. X equals 29. Now, that's also the measure of angle F. Angle F equals 29 degrees. Okay, as always, let me know if you have any questions at all. And on the back of this packet, you have your homework sheet. Please complete it and turn it back into me. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful rest of your day.